Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Nearby weather service offices are filling in some heat advisories, extreme heat watches, and warnings starting today. A lot of these last all the way through Friday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days. So plan ahead, take necessary precautions with a heat wave out there. Charleston, we have an extreme heat warning. Peak heat index up to 108 for that feel-like temp in the forecast in the days ahead. We're stacking up to a major heat risk today. So that's beyond just folks that are sensitive to the heat. For everyone out there should start thinking about taking necessary precautions for prolonged high heat and humidity. In terms of temps, could see some daily warm record lows and maybe a few spots approach some daily record highs too, but it will feel hotter with that heat index. Strong ridge of high pressure, heat dome is in place now. Beneath that, a trough out there, giving us a slight chance, a 20% chance of a thunderstorm that may favor eastern areas of the state. Had a high of 89 yesterday in Charleston, may have had some patchy dense fog this morning. Again, generally a slight 20% chance of a brief shower and thunderstorm today. Fly Saber forecast, it starts at home. A lot of these cities in here will have concerns with heat too this week and all the way into the 4th of July holiday weekend coming up. From Panhandle to Panhandle, we have heat advisories up here today through Friday. Highs upper 80s to mid 90s today. To the east, the eastern Panhandle, you have heat advisories today and tomorrow. Extreme heat watches for Thursday and Friday. From east to west, heat, mostly sunny. Low chance of an isolated shower and thunderstorm today. And to the south, heat near 96 in spots like Huntington for today. So looking ahead at your 7 days for Morgantown and Charleston, forecasting highs near 99 Wednesday, 100 Thursday, little to no relief for the lows. Still hot and humid for the weekend, but also adding some chances of showers and thunderstorms. Chance on Friday, 97, 95 for the 4th, chance of showers and storms.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is MetroNews Midday, presented by Salango Law with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and MetroNews' Dave Allen.
Welcome into the 2 o'clock hour. It is Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, it is Open Line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. You can text 304-TALK 304. Whatever's on your mind, and have an idea I know what it is. Coming up at 2:30, it's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK 304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
Welcome into Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson are our producers today. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and texts on whatever happens to be on your mind. Among other things, of course, we're going to we'll get your take on the Supreme Court decision, the big one that involved West Virginia that came out earlier today, the Becky Pepper Jackson case, and we'll talk about that coming up a little bit later on. But something else that may be on your mind is the heat. I'm looking across the state of West Virginia right now. Currently, Charleston, it's 91, 92 in Huntington, 89 Morgantown, 85 in Beckley, 90 in Martinsburg, 90 in Wheeling, 85 Elkins, 91 Parkersburg, 85 in Lewisburg, just to name a few of these. But we got a little cloud cover in a lot of these places as well. But it's going to get a whole lot hotter. And the guy that knows all about it, because he's probably outdoors right now, is Metro News Meteorologist Bryan Hughes. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the show.
I am in the middle of all this heat, and because, as they say, you got a regatta.
You got a regatta. All right, we'll talk about that coming up a little bit later on. But I told the listeners during the 1 o'clock hour when the news came on, I literally walked out front and walked past Antoine at the front desk, and I said, I'm going to step outside and get some air. And I walked through the door, said an expletive that ended in that, and came back in the building again. And that was it for my outdoor plans for today.
Right. Listen, that's what it's going to be. That's going to be your expletive all the rest of this week into the weekend, because it's not going to let up really until we start to get into Saturday. And it's just unrelenting heat. And the reason for that is we've got high pressure that is, as we head into tomorrow on into Thursday, Friday, it's going to be parked right over the top of us. And that heat dome, it allows essentially for this to become a pressure cooker. So it's really like a pressure cooker. I mean, you are compacting all this high pressure sitting all on top of us. And we've got what we call stacked in the atmosphere. So it's high pressure at the surface, high pressure in the mid levels, and high pressure at the upper levels. So it pressure cooks us, and that's where we are.
Yeah. And, of course, with all of the outdoor celebrations going on, we interviewed the mayor of Ripley last hour about America's largest small town 4th of July parade. Sure. Oh, yes, the regatta is going on. Oh, yes, the America 250 at the Capitol. Every city in West Virginia's got something going on. And we just want to, sometimes you hear this stuff and it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other, and we understand that. But, we do want to tell people it is very, very important to hydrate, especially, look, if you're out and you're working in this right now and what we're going to have in the next couple of days, chances are you're used to it. We're talking about construction workers, power company employees. They know what to do. I mean, not to sound flippant, but they're going to be okay. It's the inside people like me, that don't venture out very often that's really got to be concerned about things like this.
Yeah, because what we're looking at, it's those people who are not used to this that are going to have the biggest issues. You, I mean, we could say all sorts of things about you, but you're an inside seller.
I am.
But yeah, what we have are the most vulnerable, and those are going to be children, also seniors, and then we also have to think of our pets as well, because they're for the most part not used to it. They're also not used to a very cold winter. So when we get to these extremes, you got to think about that. And this is hydration. But it's also about frequent breaks. Listen, we all know we got a boss who's generally cracking a whip, but if you're outside, you got to take some frequent breaks because your body needs it. And what we've always said is you are the person that we need. We don't need the extra horsepower here. We need you as a person who can survive and make it through the day. And so what we're looking at is frequent breaks, lots of water, and you also need to look at your hydration as far as, liquid IV. You can do Gatorade, Powerade, anything of that nature. And that's going to help you. But also get a nice meal to start the day. Not too heavy, but decent enough that you've got the energy to push through all this.
All right. And again, we do want to remind people that you can download the Metro News television app for Brian and his team of meteorologists and their weather forecast, because it is only going to get hotter over the next couple of days. This is just the beginning, Brian.
It really is. I mean, we're in the mid-90s, and after that, we are going to look at temperatures. Matter of fact, actually, the current temperature right now, 92 degrees. We've still got actually about 2 more hours worth of heating that's possible, and we can quickly get to that 95-degree mark. 96 is even possible today. What we are looking at for tomorrow is temperatures are going to be, again, mid to starting to crank up in the upper 90s. And just so you know, across the state of West Virginia, the hottest spots are actually along the Ohio River. So Huntington is the hottest spot. Typically, Point Pleasant, Pomeroy, those areas are very, very hot. And then as you spread out further to the east and further to the south, things get a little bit tempered. But listen, we may have, down in Bluefield, we may have a Lemonade Day coming up. So, there are exciting things about the heat that we must celebrate, and Lemonade Day is one of them.
I want to talk about that Lemonade Day, and that is one of the best traditions in America, in my opinion. If the temperature, what is it, Ryan, gets above 90 in Bluefield? Is that what it is?
Above 90, yes. That is correct. And then you get free lemonade.
Free lemonade in the city of Bluefield if it gets above the above the temperature of 90. This is something that they have done for quite some time. So if that's the case, just hop on the as my family would say, the fancy new Doug Road, and head down to Bluefield and get yourself some free lemonade. All right, I do want to talk about regatta because, you're a Metro News meteorologist, but you're also very heavily involved in regatta. You have been for some time. Preparations are still going on, I take it. What's going on now?
Well, right now we are starting to build the stage, and also, we actually have a very special treat on Wednesday. We are going to have down here. We're going to have the soccer tournament. So USA Soccer. at Riverfront Park, we're going to light the screen up one day early, and we got the massive jumbotron there, and we're going to have a fun evening on Wednesday night. So it's sort of a pre-Regatta party. But as we go into the rest of the weekend, they're building the stage right now. We've got vendors that are going to be moving in tomorrow. And listen, the concerts are epic. I mean, we actually, even though you get a concert, it's about being on their tour. And we are actually labeled as a tour date for Melissa Etheridge and Winona. So that's some awesome stuff. Can't beat that. 2 75-minute sets from each of them. And there will be some songs that will be sung together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a fun time. There are fireworks down at America's 250 celebration down at the Capitol on Friday, so just make note of that. Fireworks then are going to be happening on Saturday at the state capitol, also directly across from Head at Riverfront Park. And as you get down to Magic Island, this is going to be the largest fireworks show in West Virginia's history. And not only that, I was talking to the fireworks designer yesterday evening, and he said when we got the budget, he said, boys, bring the big guns out, and they are going to have some of the most expensive fireworks that money can buy will be happening in here in West Virginia, all courtesy of a very, very nice private donation, anonymous donation to Regatta. We were able to match part of that. And then West Virginia Tourism stepped in and helped us out as well there.
And I love that when you have the collaboration from the business community, from private donors, and you bring in government, like as you said, with tourism and so on and so forth. It's a win-win for everybody. Now, you weren't around in West Virginia to remember the heyday of the regatta, but many of us do remember the 10-day event. It was around Labor Day, and it was when it was brought back a couple of years ago. It's a little bit scaled down, but it's still a big old party. And I am all about the nickels and dimes of the whole thing, man. That's what really means something to me, and that's the capitalism part of it. Economic impact on what this event meant to Charleston. I mean, just give me a ballpark over the last couple of years. Take any year.
We last year were just over 40. Actually, we're getting closer to $45 million in economic impact, and just so everybody knows. If you actually go in and look at the keyboard warriors on the internet, they think that Regatta or the city of Charleston has made $40+ million. No, that's not it. The economic impact is actually when an event comes in town that is, while it is planned, what it does is it helps lift the entire business community. And when you tip that waitress or that waiter, when you buy that food at the restaurants, when you go shop in those shops, that helps. That helps the bottom line. It lifts everybody up. Well, then they're able to make a payment to somebody. They're able to, an extra payment for rent. They're able to do, buy the couch that waitress wanted. Mm-hmm. And that is not, and typically that money, especially when you look at the food industry, that is unrealized money in their annual, their annual salaries or their pay. So it lifts the economy entirely. So economic impact is the amount of money that is exchanged hands over a number of times until I don't know when the exact drop-off is, but there's a calculation. And it is incredible. And the economic impact that we have here is like having 3 Mountaineer football games back to back to back.
Indeed. We're talking to MetroNews meteorologist Bryan Hughes, also with the Charleston Sternwheel Regatta, which is going to kick off on Thursday. Really, and I'm glad you mentioned that event because they sent me that info as well. They're doing this FIFA World Cup watch party. Cheer on Team USA, as you said. Kickoff is 8 o'clock tomorrow night. You can actually watch that on the Regatta big screens downtown, presented by the city of Charleston and by the Charleston Sternwheel Regatta as well. So if you want to get your regatta on a little bit early, you can go down and do that. And as far as where people come for the regatta, this is not just a Charleston thing because the data, again, because of this little computer we carry around in our pockets,
our phones, yes.
People know where you're coming from. Places like D.C., Pittsburgh, it's not just the local folks that come out for this thing. I mean, they're coming from D.C., they're coming from Pittsburgh, they're coming from Charlotte, all into Charleston for the regatta.
And Dave, we have people now, and this is what's awesome. We have people who attend this event from all 50 states. We also have people who used to go to Myrtle Beach, West Virginia's beach down there, they used to make those plans and go down there, and they would not be here for July 4th. People are changing their plans. They have changed their plans. And now you've got these kids in middle school, elementary, middle school, high school. They're excited about it. My doctor, Dr. Crystal Bassine, her son loves the regatta. And, and he's all his high school friends.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be out here for regatta. It's their excitement for the summer. And she told me that, and just, made me happy to know that, we're creating those great times for families, and it's next level stuff. And I'll tell you this, one of the funniest stories about the regatta here and who's on the regatta commission is my best friend, Josh Scott. I mean, you know him, Dave.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He is a literal regatta baby. They used to have regatta babies in the newspaper. If you were born during the week of regatta, you were a regatta baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Josh Scott was born 9 months and a week and a half or two after the regatta, and they know where it happened, and it happened for towboat at the regatta.
I wasn't expecting that story, Brian, but okay, that's fine. I mean, they say you got a regatta, so somebody got. Okay, no.
Oh.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes, I do appreciate you taking time to be here with us today. In all seriousness, everybody keep an eye on the temperatures because it can sneak up on you if you are not used to it.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are used to it, they're used to working out in this, just use all the precautions. Don't be a hero. Don't be a Superman or woman. Stay hydrated. Do what you got to do. Wear your hat. Do your sunscreen or whatever. And we hope that everybody enjoys regatta when they come into Charleston for this. Again, it starts on Thursday. Appreciate you actually starts. We'll say it starts on Wednesday by watching the World Cup. Brian, we'll let you get back to work, man. Thanks a lot.
Sounds good.
All right, Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes. Yes, I know Josh very well, and I did not know he was a regatta baby and that they can trace it. I mean, there's just so many ways I could go with that story, but I'm not going to. I do want to mention the entertainment at the regatta, just in case you may have missed it. On Thursday night, this is July 2nd, the live music is going to start at 6:30 with the Raised on Radio tour with Melissa Etheridge and Winona Judd. And the Gazette-Mail did a great article on both of those, and I am a huge Melissa Etheridge fan. I started following Melissa Etheridge. She came out in 1989 with, and I think it was a self-titled album, I think, and then she had a couple albums after that. But I'll tell you, the first single that she released that I was aware of was a song called "Bring Me Some Water." And, kind of appropriate for this week. And I don't know that it was a major hit on the pop charts. Matter of fact, I don't think it was. But you talk about a bad freaking song. If you've never heard it, Melissa Etheridge, "Bring Me Some Water." At the conclusion of this show, you're allowed to go look it up. Okay, not till actually after Sportsline, go look it up. They want to keep everybody on the network, but go look up that song. And Winona Judd, I mean, with the songs that she did with the Judds, which she will do some of those in concert. She'll do some of her solo stuff. As Brian said, they're going to do stuff together, which I think will be fantastic. Then on Friday, and we're just talking about the music, on Friday night, Montel Jordan, "This Is How We Do It," an anthem from the 1990s, so many other songs. He'll be there. Bow Wow will be there, and oh my goodness, Bobby Brown. I was breaking into radio about the time that Bobby Brown had left New Edition, and he was just starting his solo career. Songs like "Don't Be Cruel," "My Prerogative," "Roni," "Every Little Step." I played all that stuff. He's going to do all that and more on Friday night. Then Saturday night, Lita Ford. She started her career with the Runaways along with Joan Jett, "Kiss Me Deadly," her big single hit, of course, "Close My Eyes Forever" with Ozzy Osbourne. She will be there along with Bret Michaels of Poison. I mean, do we need to even talk about Poison and all of the great music that Bret Michaels does? So those two are going to be there. And then on Sunday, for you late 90s, early 2000 fans, Vertical Horizon and Tonic will be in concert. So just, I mean, it's going to be a great, and that's just the music. I mean, I'm not talking about the kids zone and everything else that's going on with Regatta. So coming to Charleston, welcome to town. We're glad to have you here, and we'll be checking in, of course, with the folks at the Regatta as well. All of our stations are going to be down there live. One of our stations in Charleston, our sister station, 98.7 A Mountain Wild, a wonderful classic rock, is actually giving away backstage passes to meet Lita Ford. So going to be a great time in the capital city. And while you're here, there's another big event going on right up the street, too. Not to be outdone, Alabama is going to be there. Marshall Tucker Band's going to be there for part of the 250th celebration. The world's largest Ferris wheel is going to be there. West Virginia Symphony. So certainly a whole lot of stuff going on in Charlie West and all over the state of West Virginia for that matter. Happy 250. 223. We will take a break and come back after this. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
West Virginia is home. It's where we work, live, and raise our families. At the heart of our communities are West Virginia hospitals and their compassionate caregivers. From life-saving treatments and emergency care to wellness support and screening services, we are improving your quality of life through extraordinary achievements and amazing results. West Virginia Hospitals. Your health is the heartbeat of our communities.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful
Welcome back to the
performance
show.
keep you going
227
strong.
Metro News Midday,
They're all
powered by
backed
Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Ryan Nicholson, Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. Do want to remind you that tomorrow is Wednesday, and you know what that means. Every Wednesday, we like to put the spotlight on somebody in West Virginia who is doing great things in his or her community. We're talking about people that are doing things with veterans, talking about people that are working with the elderly, working with youth sports, working in animal welfare issues. I mean, any number of things. We've talked about people who help people after flooding and whatever. So if they're doing good in your community, we want to hear about it. All you got to do is drop us an email, midday@wvmetronews.com, midday@wvmetronews.com. Just give us a little bit of a description on why you are nominating said person. And last week, of course, we spent a lot of time on this show, and the Talk Line guys did as well, as talking about the recovery from the flooding of 2016, which was 10 years ago last week. And last week's Wonderful West Virginian was somebody that he and his business and his family really went above and beyond, in a lot of people's opinion, trying to help out residents of the Elkview and Clendenin areas in Kanawha County that were devastated by those floods. So that's the kind of thing we're looking for, somebody doing great things in his or her community. Just drop us an email. Give us a brief description of what it is that those people do. It's midday at wvmetronews.com, midday at wvmetronews.com. You can reach out to either Amanda Barron or myself on social media. For me, it's Dave Allen Radio on Facebook and at Dave870 on X, which, by the way, you should be following me on those sites anyway. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get to Open Line West Virginia. Your calls and texts, 1-800-765-TALK, 1-800-765-8255, or you can text me at 304-TALK-304. And we do want to remind you, and I'm gonna throw down a little ground rule here. Now, I am traditionally, when we do Open Line West Virginia, it's not quite steam release because I do respond, but one of the things that I do is I pretty much say, it's whatever you want to talk about, and that's fine. And I know everybody's going to weigh in on the Becky Pepper Jackson decision, and I got a ton of text already to get to, and we will get to those. The only thing that I am going to ask you is that you please be respectful. You can say you agree with the decision that the Supreme Court issued today. You can say you don't agree with it. That is fine. But at the end of the day, let's remember, all right, one way or the other, you're still talking about a minor. You're still talking about a child here. And I think if you listen to the interview we did with Attorney J.B. McCuskey, Attorney General, he kind of phrased it that way as well. So just keep that in mind. We'll take a break and come back after this.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Nearby Weather Service offices are filling in some heat advisories, extreme heat watches, and warnings starting today. A lot of these last all the way through Friday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days. So plan ahead. Take necessary precautions with the heat wave out there. Charleston, we have an extreme heat warning. Peak heat index up to 108 for that feel-like temp in the forecast in the days ahead. We're stacking up to a major heat risk today, so that's beyond just folks that are sensitive to the heat. For everyone out there should start thinking about taking necessary precautions for prolonged high heat and humidity. In terms of temps, could see some daily warm record lows and maybe a few spots approach some daily record highs too, but it will feel hotter with that heat index. Strong ridge of high pressure, heat dome is in place now. Beneath that, a trough out there, giving us a slight chance, a 20% chance of a thunderstorm that may favor eastern areas of the state. Had a high of 89 yesterday in Charleston, may have had some patchy dense fog this morning. Again, generally a slight 20% chance of a brief shower and thunderstorm today. Fly Saber forecast, it starts at home. A lot of these cities in here will have concerns with heat too this week and all the way into the 4th of July holiday weekend coming up. From Panhandle to Panhandle, we have heat advisories up here today through Friday. Highs upper 80s to mid 90s today. To the east, the eastern Panhandle, you have heat advisories today and tomorrow. Extreme heat watches for Thursday and Friday. From east to west, heat, mostly sunny. Low chance of an isolated shower and thunderstorm today. And to the south, heat near 96 in spots like Huntington for today. So looking ahead at your 7 days for Morgantown and Charleston, forecasting highs near 99 Wednesday, 100 Thursday, little to no relief for the lows. Still hot and humid for the weekend, but also adding some chances of showers and thunderstorms. Chance on Friday, 97, 95 for the 4th, chance of showers and storms.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did.
Told you it's a little grumpy today.
Oh,
Three or
man,
four-
you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
On the next State of Minds.
Thank you for caring.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 o'clock on a sultry Tuesday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. You can text 304-TALK 304. Of course, the big news is that basically the U.S. Supreme Court ruled today that states can set their own agenda, their own ideology when it comes to youth sports in West Virginia. And we did an interview with Attorney General J.B. McCuskey here on Midday, and Wilson did one on Talkline as well. And I urge you to go back and check out the stories, WVMetroNews.com, or even go back to the archive broadcast of those shows and see what Attorney General J.B. McCuskey said about it. And I pointed to, when I was talking to Attorney General McCuskey, I said, so, there would be those that say, because I think he and some others would like there to be some sort of federal regulations on this. And I thought it was a fair point, and he agreed with the point anyway, is that, we hear all the time about letting the states do what the states want to do, states' rights, so to speak, which is almost as old as this country itself. I mean, the discussion of things. And his side of that, and I understand, was, well, if it's unfair in West Virginia, it's also unfair in California. And it's also unfair in Texas and whatever. So, I think it's a good argument worth having, a good discussion worth having at some point. But again, we got plenty more written about this at WVMetroNews.com. 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. You can text 304-TALK 304. Text says, hey, is Pepper, it's Becky Pepper Jackson, going to compete in the boys division? I do not know at this point. I don't know what is going to happen there. I do not know the individual involved. I don't know the parents, so I don't know what's going to happen at this point. But we will, I guess, keep you updated. Text says the law was actually that boys could not participate in girls' sports. There was just a stay on it. SCOTUS overruled that stay, which should mean BPJ should not be on the books as a participant, let alone be able to retain the title. Yeah, again, I'm not a legal expert, nor do I play one on the radio. I don't pretend to, try to get into the meaning behind rulings and so on and so forth. My take on it as a total novice was just simply that I just kind of thought that because those rules in West Virginia, well, now I understand both sides now when I think about it. I've talked myself out of my own argument. That's what being an adult is about, and that's what learning is about, I guess. But, I guess because those rules, and she won the championship under the rules that were currently in place, that they should be able to keep that champion. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I ain't in the SSAC. It ain't up to me to decide. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, Attorney General says everyone deserves to play sports. Are they going to create something for transgender participants? Says a texter. Well, there's only one in West Virginia right now. So, if there's enough, maybe. I don't know. Text, looking, I still see no kings, and we're having elections, says the texter. Somebody texted in earlier in the show and said we just spent 2 hours talking about this, about the BPJ case. Well, the reason that we spent a great deal of time on Talkline and on this show about it was because it's the lead national story today, and it involves West Virginia. I mean, I'm driving into work this morning, turned my radio on network news, and the network news, before the decision was even rendered at 7 a.m. this morning, that was the lead story, that this decision was going to come out today, and that it impacted, or at least a part of West Virginia was involved in this, and our Attorney General and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I appreciate the text, appreciate you listening, but you cannot expect us to ignore what on many radars has been the biggest national story of the day when it involves a West Virginian. 1-800-765-TALK, that's the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. So are transgender girls supposed to play on boys' team? Doesn't that create a problem? I do not know. Text, for what it's worth, another female athlete actually threw further than PBJ, although, actually, kind of got that backwards. It's, anyway. Additionally, BPJ and the other athletes' distances were nowhere near as far as the male athletes at the meet, says a texter. Text says, love the attention that our state is getting at America's State Fair in D.C. Good stuff. Yeah, it is good stuff. I agree. Text, wow. I got a lot of text here. I'm trying to get to the best I can. Does this mean that Jessica Lynch should have only been allowed to serve in the U.S. Women's Army? And if we're all equal, then why aren't trans folks allowed in the military anymore, but women are? Says a texter. What you knuckle draggers don't understand about Becky Pepper Jackson, she never went through puberty like most boys do. She's a girl, period. Says a texter. And also remember that this person we're talking about is a minor. So let's just through all this, let's keep that in mind. And quite frankly, some of the things when this story first came out that I saw on social media, and I talked about it on this show, went on a bit of a rant, were absolutely ridiculous about, aiming. Look, you can not like the decision today. Like I said, you can love it, you can hate it, whatever. You can not like that this particular thing happened. But to take all this venom out on a child, let's keep that in mind. You can be mad at the system all you want to, but at the end of the day, we're still talking about a young person. 20 minutes away from 3, text says an estimated 2.8 million people, or about 1% of the population aged 13 and older, identifies transgender in the United States. That's 1.1 million more people than live in our state. Imagine if the other 49 states voted to say West Virginia couldn't compete as a state. I mean, it was originally Virginia. Shouldn't we then be forced to compete as Virginians? Says a texter. Text, and yet another minister is arrested for messing with kids, and people wonder why I don't send my kids to church, says a texter. Well, again, I think that's one particular instance. I heard the story earlier reported on MetroNews. I think that's one story, but I do appreciate the text. Hey, Dave, I know you will know what's a story that's gone viral about the wrestler in Logan. Actually, I do know that. I do know the story. So just real quick, and this has gone viral. The West Virginia Freedom Festival, which is held in downtown Logan, and we had the director of the festival, Amber Miller Belcher, on the show last week. Big event in Logan. It's been going on since 1999. Thousands of people on the streets of Logan. Part of what they do is they have a pro wrestling show. They literally set up the ring in town, and they have a wrestling event. So apparently, and I wasn't there. I haven't done a wrestling show in 10 years, something like that, 12 years. It's been a while since I hung it up. But I did see this post on social media. Apparently there was a bad guy going to the ring, and you have good guys and bad guys. Bad guy going to the ring, and he said something to a child in the crowd. The child was booing or doing whatever that kids do at wrestling shows, and this particular wrestler looked at the kid and said something to the effect of, "Sit down, you stupid little boy." Okay? And apparently the young kid's mother went on social media, complained about it. "I'm not going to take my kid to another wrestling show," so on and so forth. And it has gone international now, to the point that the wrestler's actually selling T-shirts that said "Sit down, you stupid little boy." And apparently it was somebody who did not, the parent, not knowing the way that what happens at pro wrestling shows. You know, that's the art of being a bad guy, or a heel, as it's known in the business. All right, that's what they're supposed to do, and that's what they do. And they yell at, when the kids yell at them, they yell back. That's part of being a bad guy. Sorry that the mother, whom I don't know, sorry that she didn't get it, but that's part of the show. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304, talk 304. Let me start by saying, says a texter, I'm 100% union, but I don't support the Teamsters and how they are handling the strike against the beverage market. I do not support harassing small businesses. For those that aren't familiar, it's statewide. This is a story pretty much here in the Kanawha Valley. There is a company called the Beverage Market, and they are distributors for a lot of the more popular beers, your Millers and your Coors, Modelo, and so on and so forth. And they've been on strike. We've actually interviewed, I think, twice now, the head of one of the top officials with the Teamsters Union. They've been on the show twice, and it's starting to get ugly. And there have been allegations. These have been allegations that they have been some of the members or the strike supporters have been calling out smaller bars, restaurants here in the Kanawha Valley for accepting those drinks, those particular ones. That's the gist of what that texter is referring to. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304, talk 304, 244. It's Open Line West Virginia. We'll take a break and come back after this.
Every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
A vasectomy reversal is a much more complicated procedure than a vasectomy, using sutures that are essentially smaller than your eyelash to reconstruct anatomy. I do what I do to try to help the patients of West Virginia have kids.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
In 1914, The same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
Welcome back to the show. 11 away from 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen with you. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK-304. Text, my daughter competes all the time against boys in Special Olympics, and she wins. Maybe our girls should be allowed to compete against boys more often. They don't need to protect our women and girls. We better be mindful that we're going to have to protect our boys someday, says a texter. Text, if you think me or my family is getting on that rickety-looking Ferris wheel at the Capitol, you have another thing coming, says the text. Well, that's your right. That's your right. Text, so I can't wait for girls' sports teams to start discriminating against trans boys with elevated testosterone levels. Even though, as they say, they are biological girls. It is coming, says the texter. Text, as I said, I'm trying to get through all of them here. Here's what happens when boys play on boys' teams, girls play on girls' teams. Okay, that's enough of that. Text, my goodness, this lady wanted to cancel summer. It's reference to the person at Ohio University that we had on talking about hydrating and staying cool. What do you expect? She's from Ohio University. She's from OU. What do you expect? Says the Marshall guy. Text, can we get some experts from WVU, MU, UC, West Virginia State, Glenville State to share information instead of Ohio University staff? I doubt there are many listeners in Athens, Ohio. Let's use West Virginia experts. We know why the Ohio Bobcat was right on. That's, the information is pretty much going to be the same no matter where it comes from. That just happened to be from my co-host alma mater. And matter of fact, I do believe they reached out to us. We didn't reach out to them. They actually reached out to us. Text, so what? State workers now get a 3.5-day holiday for the 4th? Pathetic. Says the text. Well, if you feel that way, I would say that maybe you should go and apply to be a state worker. There are a ton of opportunities out there. I have just never understood why it is that people get so upset the days that other people have off. I mean, traditionally, and just in case you're wondering, the way it's going to work is July 3rd is on a Saturday. July 4th is on a Saturday, so July 3rd is considered to be a state holiday. State offices will be closed July 3rd. And just about, quite frankly, a lot of businesses are closed on July 3rd, just so you know. So the governor announcing yesterday that if they wish, state employees can use, they can take off half a day on Thursday. Many will, but some won't. Some won't take it off. I used to be a state government employee. Sometimes you got stuff to do. You're like, yeah, it's just easier just to stay here and get it done, especially when there's nobody around and the phones aren't ringing. I'm just telling you, that's how it happens sometimes. But there are plenty of jobs available in state government. All you got to do is go on the state website and apply if you want to be one. The thing for years was always state government workers get paid a little bit less money, but they have better benefits, and they also get all of these holidays off. Look, I'm in the radio business, okay? And I still remember being in high school as a 10th grader when my later boss, Speedy Bevins, came to career day at Logan High in 1985 and said, your Christmas, your Thanksgiving, your New Year's, they're mine. You work. And trust me, I worked every Christmas, everything's. I get it. You know, this job I do get a little more time off for the holidays, but not this week. July 3rd is a regular day for us on Metro News Midday. Text said it's going to be hot. Want to know how I know? I have a thermometer. Please stop telling us to take it easy and drink water. If you don't already know that, I don't know what to tell you, says a texter. Saw a video of our governor cheesing over the Ferris wheel. Tell me when he smiles that he... Please, no, just get off the appearance stuff, all right? Text, social media age restricts should be for age users, not the young. Too many old people use Facebook like AOL. Their portal to what they call the internet, really just various links for Facebook like the AOL dashboard. Misinformed, angry old voters like in all media savvy, an unregulated internet are more dangerous to the country than children, says a texter. What about the young ladies who came forward or refused to participate against Becky Pepper Jackson? Where is their apologies? How many awards and titles will be given back to all those girls who made second place versus transgender? BPJ has several to return, says the texter. We'll take a break and wrap it up after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discovered tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road!
West Virginia is home. It's where we work, live, and raise our families. At the heart of our communities are West Virginia hospitals and their compassionate caregivers. From life-saving treatments and emergency care to wellness support and screening services, we are improving your quality of life through extraordinary achievements and amazing results. West Virginia Hospitals. Your health is the heartbeat of our communities.
3 guys before the game.
What did you know about Rich Rodriguez when he's named the coach?
I didn't know nothing. But I was like, oh, this is college ball right here.
Yeah, it's for real.
Yeah.
Available on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. A couple of minutes away from 3 o'clock. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. The former lead singer on the summer tour of 75 while Donny Osmond was recovering from a tonsillectomy of the Osmonds. It's Dave Weekley.
Wow. That's really good. Man, your rejoining music is so good. Coop, can we steal his rejoiner music? Can we steal his rejoiner music? We can't?
Well, can we just switch them back and forth?
He said no. What do you got, like special rules for the midday show? You're hoarding all the good stuff on this program and then just leaving me with the scraps?
We got Amanda Barron.
Well, yeah, there you go. That's true. That's your secret weapon.
Yeah, but you got Dale Cooper.
I want your rejoiner music.
Both sexy beasts in their own right.
That's true.
All right.
Hey, man, have you heard about the heat dome?
I thought you were going to say, have you heard about the decision on the Supreme Court today?
No, dude. That's all you. That is all you, brother.
Yeah, I was told the listeners earlier, I stepped outside during one of the news breaks, and I just told Antoine at the front desk, I said, I'm going to step outside and get some air. And I walked outside and went, blank that, and came right back in again. So, all right. What you got on the show today?
So it's too hot to run the stove. It's too hot to start the stove. So what's the plan, Stan? What are you making when you have to eat and you can't fire up the stove?
The plan in my house is air conditioning. So, I mean, you have an
You'll still run the stove even in the air conditioner?
Of course I will. Of course I will.
You're really not from Logan, are you?
I am. I am. And it just talk to me long enough. Eventually the accent will come out, man. I was just talking about wrestling on the streets of Logan just now, and the viral moment with the heel guy down there. So, all right, these guys are coming up with Hotline to me, these same stations. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun. Stay cool and love somebody.